There's about 20 to 30 guys that went. We're 20 or 30 pastors that went to Israel. We went there to hear the stories, the true accounts, if you will, of what happened during that horrific day, October 7th. We had a briefing. We went through a lot. We're going to talk about all that. So they took us out with binoculars to look into, this is where the rockets are coming from. There's Lebanon, Hezbollah shooting rockets in. As I mentioned before and after we were there, so we're here looking in. We can see the United Nations are all, their headquarters over there. Craziness. So people were running around saying, there's terrorists, get into your safe rooms, get in, hide. And then they said, no, they're IDF soldiers. Well, the terrorists had IDF soldier uniforms on to trick the people to think that these were soldiers, to get people out of their kibbutz so they can shoot them. So they were tricking them with that. Another thing he points out, that it was a high holy day. And he said, so because it was a day of celebration, they were supposed to celebrate. He said they had a tradition in this. See, this kibbutz is right on the Gaza border. So they would bring in, listen to this, they would bring in the people from Gaza to just say, hey, we love you, we want to live at peace with you. They employed them to come in, but then they found out later, for years they were employing them to be there. They were there for one reason, to spy out their property. Because they knew where all the houses were, they knew where their ammunition was, they knew where so they went right to these places where the guns and rifles were, blew the doors out, took all the rifles so they couldn't fight, and so they deceived them. So that's good for us to realize that. These are the citizens. So he went through that. He said annually, when they have the high celebrations, they put up a kite. So he explains all that to us. They put up a kite with peace signs on it because they're right on the border to tell them, we're celebrating, but we're your neighbors, we want peace with you. They would do that to just put a sign up into the sky to say, we want peace with you. The same people that came in and massacred them. He tells a story of how there's just tons. I mean, it was heart-wrenching to hear all of his stories. He told us about this family that had 2 twins, babies. The terrorists came in their house, killed the parents, took the babies and tortured them to make them cry to get people out of their safe houses, their safe rooms. So they would hear the cries of the babies and they're like, okay, let's go help. And then they just start killing people. Horrific. One after another. It was just heart-wrenching. I don't think I've ever been in a place where I can say we're to weep with those that are weeping. We were all just kind of weeping and crying, listening to all the tragedies that were taking place. It was horrific. So this man was showing us around. He was giving us a tour. We're here at a kibbutz where the October 7th started, exactly 3 months today. And this is all this out here you see. These were the 18 to 30-year-olds. They were all housed in here, and many of them were murdered. And you can see the devastation that took place. So here in Israel, these are the homes. Here's one that's brutally murdered in this house. So she was brutally murdered in her house. And everywhere you go, there are pictures in it. You can see, shows that they're brutally murdered. So there's more in front of their homes. It's just, it looks like a war zone. It's just, so the other thing I want to point out, so he told us how there were different waves. So the terrorists would come in and they would kill and take hostages. But then after they left, the civilians came in and looted everything, came into all the houses. So they just went into all their homes, took anything of value, and they took they looted the whole place, the whole complex. They went in and took everything, the civilians, and went back to Gaza with all their stuff. And this is some of the devastation that took place. Yeah, it's heart-wrenching. Oh, yeah, I'll just play this for you. So here, this is where the Sderot police station used to be. It was right here. And there was a shootout. Terrorists actually went inside. They were acting like they needed help and went inside and then started shooting. And then when they ran out, the police officers ran out, they had snipers shooting the police officers as they were running out of the police station. 20 police officers died. Here, we're going to meet right now with the assistant, I guess, to the mayor. She's going to give us an update on exactly what happened here. So here at Sderot, here in Israel. Shalom, shalom. So it was such a devastation that took place with all these police officers getting killed, massacred, that they ended up just tearing this whole thing down. They didn't want any memory of what happened there. So just heart-wrenching. We went into places that are very high security, and they trust us. They trust us. They know that we love them. We care. And we're there because we care about them. And so listen to this. So the Jewish people for many years thought that Christians, don't Christians hate Jews? Aren't those the ones, the Crusaders? They killed the Jewish people. Aren't those these guys that are terrible? Now God is doing such a work in their heart. They know that the evangelical Christians are standing with them. And they trust us so much that they put us in these areas that they're not letting anyone else in. And we got to pray even with her. And as we prayed, she just started weeping and crying. She was ministered to by the Holy Spirit. So God is doing a work there in Israel. So we have to keep praying.
ローマ人への手紙11章25節から31節。兄弟たち、私はあなた方にぜひこの奥義を知っていただきたい。その奥義とは、イスラエル人の一部が堅なになったのは、異邦人の完成のなる時までであり、こうしてイスラエルは皆救われるということです。こう書かれている通りです。救う者がシオンから出て、ヤコブから不経験を取り払う。これこそ彼らに与えた私の契約である。それは私が彼らの罪を取り除く時である。彼らは福音によればあなた方のゆえに神に敵対しているものですが、選びによれば先祖たちのゆえに愛されているものなのです。神の賜物と証明とは変わることがありません。ちょうどあなた方がかつては神に不従順であったが、今は彼らの不従順のゆえに憐れみを受けているのと同様に、彼らも今は不従順になっていますが、それはあなた方の受けた憐れみによって、今や彼ら自身も憐れみを受けるためなのです。